Kick out the Brits. What does this mean? Does this mean the Protestant Irish, Scotch-Irish, they're not Celtic, they're not indigenous to the island, they came 400 years ago, some 800, some of them are Anglo-Saxon, some of them are Pict, but they're already there. When we say kick out the Brits, we mean kick out British rule, kick out Crown forces. You can gerrymander any territory and say, look, these people are a majority here. I'm not for Dublin rule, as I stated in the previous video. And this is to no remorse. Again, I'm completely against communism. I'm against Dublin rule, and I'm against Stormont rule. I'm against the PSNI, which is, I mean, call it what it is, the RUC. But things like the UDA, the UVF, or the UVF, and its splinter groups, the VFF, and all the weird shit that came out. The IRA, the non-infiltrated provosts, gave warnings and would not kill women and children. You can look at the documents that have been released. It was the British soldiers and British agents dressed to look like IRA that would kill Protestant and Catholic to try to get the divide. The only targets were Crown forces and those aiding them, not regular Protestants. And they would vacate Protestant-owned businesses before they blow them up. And yes, had Sunningdale gone down, you wouldn't have had the troubles, right? Because they were British citizens in what was considered Britain, the northern 6 counties of Ulster, and they just wanted British rights. So you wouldn't have had the provosts, and there would have been, I mean, I would just be a crazy person rambling on here with no one agreeing with me for United Ireland. And I agree with De Valera's abstentionism from World War II, because Churchill was trying to play him. But does the Protestant have a right to exist in Ulster? Yes. Do they have a right to act as an aid on occupying force, Crown forces? No. They should side with the nationalists. Or they should return to their homelands. Their homeland is Scotland and England. Remember, the Scots are Celtic, but Pictland, which is Scotland, only became Scotland because the Irish gave them civilization. The Scots were originally from Ireland. Those people, the Picts, actually were not Celts. They were Celtic eyes, just like how the Aztecs were Latinized by the Spanish. May the Pict, God bless them, cross the Irish Sea and live in Pictland, now called Scotland. And let us, the exiles in the United States, especially in Chicago, New York, and Boston, and those in Scotland, because they're not liked in Scotland, the Irish Catholic, return home, right? Why? I'm against colonization. Does the Ulster Protestant, does it have a right to exist? It's a distinct people. They have a right to exist, right? And when the island is united, it will be the Irish Catholic and the Irish Protestant who are acting as one unit, to protect them. To think that the British soldiers are there to protect them, or they are British. Let me tell you something. Yes, they are British, but the English aren't British. The English are Anglo-Saxons. They came from Denmark and Sweden and Norway. Right? I mean, the only thing that makes them a different people, look at before the Troubles. Protestant and Catholic got along fine when the IRA was waging a war from 1950 to 1962. There was a football team, or maybe people call it soccer, that had Bobby Sands, and it also had people who were part of the UVF, or would later become part of the UVF on it. The schism between Protestant Pict or Protestant Anglo and Irish Celtic Catholic is manufactured. All are Irish on that island, right? Except for Crown Forces. And I don't care if somebody's a Catholic or a Protestant, if they join the Crown Forces, PSNI, the Army, they're going to be considered, and I'm not a member of the IRA, they're going to be considered by the IRA as targets. Not women, not children, not even a man speaking his own mind. But is that how the Shankill Butchers dealt with Catholics? Is that how the UDA dealt with Catholics? Is that how Gusty Spence dealt with Catholics? Or Michael Stone bombing, throwing grenades at a funeral? Is that how the UVF dealt with Catholics? Hell, the Shankill Butchers killed just as many Protestants because they figured they were Catholics. And it wasn't until the likes of Scappaticci and John Joe McGee and these British agents that were infiltrating that you got civilian deaths that were associated with the IRA. So, again, Marxism slows things down. It cools down the movement. I'm for nationalism. If you want to have socialism, some form of socialism in there, fine. But as long as that the religions are protected, and the cultures are protected, and the diversity is protected, good. That's nationalism. Communism wants to destroy all that and destroy all private property. Even an anarchist who believes the means of production should be of the people still believe in that I can own that chair right there, that's my private property. The communist does not. And I will argue with anybody. I mean, it's a fact. No private property, no eternal truths, no diversity, no difference in culture. The destruction of the family, which in Ireland the family is very important. I'll say it to the Catholic, it's more important. But to the Protestant, it's important as well. And I would make sure that there would be no evangelizing. Or not evangelizing, proselytizing. Because Ireland needs to heal. But it should be as one island, acting as one unit. Protestants welcome. Do you not know who Wolfe Tone was? Or Nielsen? These were Protestants. It was the Protestants that gave the mandate of 1798. It was the Presbyterians. And we're continuing that on. Why more Protestants don't join? They're scared of Dublin Rule. True IRA despise Dublin Rule. Alright? Peace to you. May God save Serbia, Syria, and Ireland. And I don't hate the Pict Protestant in Ireland. If he's been there for 400 years, he's Irish. I mean, I'm half Irish. I got Syrian, Argentinian, Colombian blood in me. Am I not American? Eamon de Valera was half Cuban. Was he not Irish? He was born in New York. So let us return and let the island act as one unit without any form of colonialism in it. The Irish Catholic will protect the Protestant Pict and the Protestant Anglo-Saxon in the north. There are Protestants in the south. There are Bible churches in the south.